Hello and welcome to Find It. I am your host, Debbie Bettendorf, and I am here to talk to you about a few things. One thing I'm pretty passionate about. And I have my daughter here with us tonight, Tori. So we will bring her back up in a second. We're going to show her intro. So roll it, Lynn. Well, hello, Tori.
Hello.
Oh, we have Victoria on the screen.
Yes,
not
we do.
Tori. So does that mean you're going to be Victoria-like and be very well behaved, or are we going to pull the Tori out?
Well, she's nervous because she knows that she picked a topic that was supposed to say.
Maybe you should be nervous.
I'm not nervous. No, I'm not nervous.
Okay. Well, before we get fully started, this episode is brought to you by Studio 11 Style. And that is an online women's fashion boutique that I own and operate. And it's a lot more than just fashion. It's all about loving ourselves on the inside, getting a great relationship with ourselves. There's Tori and a pair of bibs we sell here. I think we have a pair or two left of those. And we have a free app. And the app looks like what's on top. It is 11. And what is an 11? Because I always say on a scale from 1 to 10, you're an 11. An 11 is a person who is growing and wants to get better and be a best version of themselves. So that's what an 11 is. So, and then that's in a nutshell, but I had written all of these things that being an 11, you encompass confidence and love and kindness and empathy and all of those things. And growing in learning too, where you're not afraid to have an open mind and learn new things. So anyway, I would love for you to get the free app. It's in your app store under Studio 11 Style. So this topic tonight that I picked is very near and dear to my heart because
I had struck a chord a few weeks ago.
When we say hit a nerve, yeah. So let me just jump right into it. This is not going to be a long podcast. Tori and I, this is why we're separated. She's coming from Columbus. Never mind. No, this is just funny. Okay. And if I am very tired, so pardon me if I can't find the words that I want to say. But anyway, this is a topic about women and empowerment and growing through every decade of our lives. Okay. Every decade, not just thinking that you hit 40, you hit 50, and it's like, well, 1 foot in the grave. Here we go. I'm not doing anything. So why I bring this up is because I have really felt like as a parent that I've led a good example for my kids. And especially me having a daughter, I always wanted to make sure that she knew that it doesn't matter young or old and in between, that you are valued, you are unique, you are worthy, and you have things to offer this world, right? So then here's what happened. Are you closing your eyes and you're no. Okay, so I've started a lot of things in my 40s, late 40s, and now I'm in my 50s, and I continue to grow and try new things, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, hey, I wake up today, I've got another day to reinvent myself, okay? So I was talking to Tori one day and I was telling her that I was like, it's really weird. I'm really trying to excel on this particular platform. And I'm like, I just, I don't know. And she said, oh gosh, Mom, you've just aged out. Yeah. And I looked at her and it did strike a chord. It did hit me really. And I just looked at her and I said, what? You've aged out. And I said, why? Why would you say that? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Our society believes, and it's not necessarily the same standards with men as it is women. But when a woman gets to a certain age, they're in the minds of society, whether you want to admit it or not, less attractive, less worth and value based on career alone, for sure, career, and in other ways. So Tori then explained what she meant, and I want to give you the opportunity to explain what you meant, but I did not like it. And I said, if you raised by me, who I am, love to empower women and most definitely empower my daughter, if you're saying that, think about how widespread and most people generally view women. And so that's scary. We need to be the change. We need to be the change. Tori's age group, know that I want you to know, Tori, when you're my age, you can still have a career. You can still be successful. There are ways that you can still offer your gifts and talents.
So what I have to say about all of this is I am all for empowering women. I empower my girlfriends all the time. I love that. I empower my mom. I am in a field and will be in a field that is majority men, and that I understand that going in. And with that being said, is I think that when you go into a certain type of profession, or you're aging, or you're a woman, or there are certain things that are just how they are. And I think that to be blatantly unaware and mask that and say, oh, it's just empowering women. No, this is how it is. And you can still empower through it, but know that you're going to be hit with what society views you as. And for me, that's how I meant it. I meant, well, you're getting low feedback and you're not getting as much interaction on this platform because you're in your 50s rather than your 20s. And that's just how it is. Now, you can bitch and moan about how it is all you want. And that's, to me, it's just, that's how it is. And right now it is. Down the line, yeah, of course, I would love for women in their 50s and their 60s and in their 70s to get as much attention and much success and not be seen as old, or not be seen as dried up, worn out, and whatever like that. I would love that. I would love that. But how it is right now is you're trying to get on this platform that majority of the people you're interacting with are in their late teens, 20s to early 30s. And they want to see, and another thing is they want to see somebody their age doing something rather than someone their mother's age doing something. So I didn't mean to say, you're aged out. Or somebody come get her. Somebody come get her out of misery.
That triggered me because I also know.
Let me tell you why it triggered you, though.
Oh, well, my therapist is now on.
It didn't trigger you because I said it. It triggered you because you know it.
No, I know that's how society. It triggered me because it came out of your mouth, raised by me. So if you say it, then I'm like, wow, there's no freaking hope, because I have raised you to say, let's go. It doesn't matter.
But you've also raised me to look and see things how they are and understand how they are and have a logic. That's just how it is. Now, I'm not going to say you've aged out, quit. Did I say quit?
No, and I wouldn't care if you did. I would keep going. However,
I know what I'm saying. I didn't. No, see, what you're doing is you're saying that because I said a fact, I don't
believe it's true, though. I believe that in general, okay? I believe in general that I think that any age of woman, especially I'm speaking of like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, beyond, okay? I'm saying that in my mind, I know that we have a lot to offer and we've lived a lot of life. We've learned who we are. I mean, I'm still growing into that. And I think that we are always the same person, but we evolve and we learn and grow. And we have so much knowledge to share with the younger crowd that may help them grow into themselves sooner than later. And I also believe, in my mind, I know I have value and worth. And I know that more now than I ever did. And in fact, I know that more now than I did when I was your age.
But I'm not saying that I wasn't saying that I agree that you don't have value, or I agree that you this or that. I've said, you came to me with an issue about business, and I gave you an answer that was unemotional.
Yeah.
Not emotional. But listen to me. I gave you what I would give somebody advice for business. Now, as a daughter, it's different. But you said, I don't understand why I'm getting this. And I said, XYZ here. This is why.
So I just believe that as a society, we can change the standard. And it's not going to change overnight. I'm fully aware that things take time, but we as women can take one step, each of us, and all unite in knowing that this can change in a positive way for all of us.
And this is what I'm saying. Let me defend myself just one last time. Okay. Just let me defend myself by saying that thank you, make me bigger. I thank you. But I hate that it's like that. I don't like that it's like that. I am not rah, send them out the side door when they hit 30. I'm not that. I'm for sure wanting change too. I'm an aging woman.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. For your future, you sure as heck want it.
I definitely would like it to change. But what I'm saying is, society sees it this way. It sucks, but this is how it is.
But you two, your mother, daughter, I'm gonna be referee for a second. You're too young to know this, Tori, but there is a lady named Dr. Ruth. Okay, she made it. Dr. Ruth, yeah. Okay. She helped a lot of people. She became very successful later. Okay.
I'm not saying you can't.
No, but what I'm saying is, even if your mom can be, when she becomes a grandma or she doesn't, or whatever, people can look at her as their aunt, their sister, their, grandma or whatever, helping or whatever.
Let me put it this way, because this is how it affects me right now. And this is where I can pull from. As a woman, being an attorney or a lawyer or going to be whatever, and working in that field for 3 years while I went to school, women are looked at differently in the legal profession than men are. And I recognize that. Now, I was completely naive to it going in. I had never been in a profession before, and I'd never gone, and I had heard things, I had seen things, and I was like, I don't like that. And I had been like, oh, this is how it is. Now, I believe by continuing to be a female attorney and a good one, and being successful in what I do, and just for me, fights back on what people say about female attorneys and women in the profession. I think that, of course, you get in hand with what Mom was saying. You can be successful older. You can. But understand that you being successful you can be successful and society still think you're aged out. I mean, that's just how it goes. That's just how society is. But you have to be enough to be like, no, I'm going to do this, even though it's against it. And that's how things change. And that's what she's doing. And that's what I support. But I'm also saying you can't be blind to the fact that
power in numbers, though. More numbers that come and unite.
More women who continue to.
And I'm not saying don't unite. I'm just saying you're fighting a battle. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what I'm saying is it
you're
takes people to.
That I said in a rational business time.
What I'm trying to say is it takes people to open up their perspective to see it larger than that.
Sometimes I'm forgetting.
So what I'm saying is you're trying to debate in a debate team right now, is what you're trying to do, instead of saying,
okay, so point taken, right? We know, okay, you do have a point, but like I said, coming out of your mouth, knowing that I've raised you that way, it was shocking to me. Okay, I know you're coming from a place of just being logical and understanding what you see in society and the society standards. So we got that. But I did pull up, Lynn sent this to me. Hey, from Alberta, Tracy. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. The 32 women who became really successful later in life. And they said in the subtitle, success means different things to different people, but these women hit major milestones in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. And then they give a whole list of ladies who, authors, broadcasters, let me see what else. I'm having a hard time.
And what I said is they swam upstream.
And even this lady, you guys, I love this. This lady wanted to fly to go into space, and they would not let her. And when things changed, because she tried in 1961 and she passed the test to say she could go into space, they still rejected her. And then, let's see, she went on a mission then her name's Wally Funk, and she officially became the oldest woman to go to space after her NS-1S mission in July of 2021, and she was 82. So I also wanted to mention there's a whole list of women in here, 32 women. Vera Wang, she was in her 40s, and Kris Jenner, like her or not, with the Kardashians, like the family or not, that's beside the point.
Let me tell you.
No, wait a minute. She started when she was 52 years old, and I don't care. She's a heck of a manager. She's a good businesswoman. But anyway, what do you want to say?
What the bigger question would be for this podcast would be why women feel like they need to push each other down to get up where they need to be. See, here's where we separate. Okay, here's where what I said separates from what something more emotional, which would be the fact that sometimes when women reach a position of power, instead of opening the door for the next one to come and holding the door open and be like, look, come on, let's go, like, and unite, they shut it and they say, I did this. It took me to get here. You need to do that. You need to do what I did. Go through the hell I did. I'm not going to help. That is only hurting the situation. That's a hot topic too.
Well, that's a whole other topic, and that's about women empowering women. And I love to do that. It brings me joy to see other women.
I wouldn't have made it to law school without some of my friends. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't, and that was my first taste of going through something that I absolutely needed other women help, like other female encouragement and help.
Don't you think though that when you surround yourself with other like-minded people, those were very strong, confident women, Tori, in a position. They're in law school, they're driven, they all have the confidence in themselves, and most generally some self-esteem at least. And they didn't fear you. They're like, because when you're confident in who you are, you know that you have your own talents, mm-hmm. and you don't have to be in competition with anybody else. Just do your best. Right. So they didn't care they weren't terrified of you doing something that they couldn't do. So I think that's a good lesson too, that it's nice to be nice to everyone, but who you surround yourself with is really important.
And the women who know, here's the thing too, that I've thought was great, like women with really, really good intent, like integrity. I think that's a big thing. Women with a lot of self-awareness. There are people who might feel, and I will say, not that I'm trying to frame this in the best way I possibly can, but you'll hear Omi with her bone in the back. Sorry. She's throwing it.
Joe says, don't be nice to everyone. Be nice to those people that are nice to you.
Yeah. There are times in your life yourself, and I've come in contact with it and had this emotion where you're kind of jealous about something, or you want something somebody else has, or you're like, oh, but they're really, really smart, comes really easy to them. I wish I was like that. I wonder why it's so hard, and instead of turning it on them and being like, I hate you, like you suck, they come and say, you know what? She has something I admire, turning it into admiration, turning it into, wow, that's something I admire, and continuing to lift them up. That takes a lot. And I've seen a lot of, what did he say?
Tori is now in construction. Let me frame and reframe this.
Yeah. I needed, because it was going to sound very, pat myself on the back, because I've had people I've really loved in my life, and I've felt a little bit like, oh, I wish I had that, and had to reframe it in my mind, and say, no, this is not, and frame it as admiration and lifting them up. That's the most beautiful thing ever. And so many women have done that towards me too, and vice versa. We all help each other. Now, it's easy to weed out a chick that's jealous and doesn't want to be your friend because she's pissy. That's so easy when you get older to see that and to avoid it.
The best thing is watching Tori try to read the comments, especially.
Hey, Joe, I'm dyslexic. Okay, I hope you feel like an ass right now. I hope you feel like shit.
Tori,
you
guys, she's a lawyer.
My learning disability. Okay,
she's a lawyer. Oh my gosh, just turn that on him. She's showing her skills right now with Joe Ingram. So I do want to say this. I have 100% looked at people, other women, families, whatever, and said, wow. I mean, that, like, I can honestly say, and Tori, you've lived with me almost your whole life, right?
Almost, yep.
Have you? Yeah, until you flew off and did that little school thing. I would never, I don't know. It's just not in my DNA to, like.
So, hold on. Did you see that, Mom?
What'd he say? Now you've read. That's perfect. Oh, that's awesome. So I don't know. I do like, I don't know. Heather Papadich was on here a minute ago and said, amen, sister. Like, she's been hugely successful. Okay. Hugely successful. She lived out in California. She just, like, rocked it. She retired very, very young. Like, she's beautiful, by the way, too. Like, she's stunning to look at. And she's, like, has really made it. And I feel like that motherly, I like to brag about her, like, in a good way. Like, I want people to know how successful she is, all the hard work that she put in, and I'm so proud. I'm like a proud mommy of my friends. And I have a lot of very successful friends, and I've never been jealous. I've always been, I think, wow, impressed. And, like, good for you. And that's just, I don't know why, that's always just been how I am. Thank goodness that's not been, I have a lot of other flaws, but that's not been one of them. I think one of my biggest flaws is always feeling like, when I said earlier in the show that I know now more who I am than I ever have. So I've learned through a lot of things, and I have more confidence than I did. And I always loved to empower other people, but for whatever reason, I didn't ever really do it for myself. And now I'm really trying to invest in that and learn how to do that for me. So, So
it's funny too, the fact that you're like that and I'm like that. And I learned a lot of my motherly care. I'm not motherly, really, like, in children wise.
Let's just back that up a minute.
I'm not motherly in the sense of, like, babies. I'm motherly towards my friends. Like, I brag about Cassidy all the time to people.
And as you should, because she's amazing.
I'm like, Cassidy has this epic record collection. Let me tell you about it. And she's sitting right next to me, and she's like, this is embarrassing. And I'm like, but people need to know.
Is she there?
No, she's not here.
I thought you meant nice.
No, I'm saying, like, when I'm in public with her and I embarrass her by being like, look how cool this girl is. Awesome.
And she's so smart. Like, she graduated at the top of her class from law school.
Yeah. So I'm like, look how cool. And she's like, this is embarrassing. That's how I am. And it was learned through you. I do things for my friends. I feel certain ways towards people that I love because I learned it from my mom. And in that sense, I have learned a lot of selflessness from my mom. And I've learned a lot of bad habits, like sometimes not defending myself like my mom. So I was just talking to my little Cassidy's little group of friends that she has outside of law school, and they all go to church together. And Cassidy invited me, and we had a great conversation.
I bet that's hard for you to watch your mouth in church.
Well, I actually do watch my mouth when I'm around them.
Man, Joe Ingram pulled out the whole.
I try to be respectful of what they like, and I try around Cassidy as hard as I can, but sometimes it slips. But one of Cassidy's friends said, you know, something about self-love and whatever, and Cassidy looked at me and said, listen, Tori comes unglued. If someone says one even slightly bad thing about any one of her friends, she will go in the ring. Like she will run her mouth and she will defend them. But she goes, I have seen people treat Tori like crap, and she will just take it and sit there and take it. And why do they? She goes, why does she think? And I said, Cass, that's a self-love problem. That's I see value in other people and really don't know my own value myself. And it's a work in progress. But I learned that through my mom, and that's not a bad thing in a way.
It's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing, because it shows how selfless you were as a mother and how I picked up on that. And like, my mom sacrifices for people all of the time. My mom, and I love my mom, and my mom's great. That's how I want to be. And I say all the time, I want to be more like my mom every single day.
Well, Tori,
so I try.
You said that.
I try. So I've learned in it, but it's inadvertently putting yourself a little bit lower, though. You don't mean to do it, especially as a mom. And you were a mom so early in your life.
Yeah.
So you put yourself down under your child, and you're like, well, it goes my child, my husband, then me, if I have time for me, right? You know, you started that young. Yeah. So, you know, that was something. Oh, Ellie hit her head.
You guys, you should show them the Doberman. Can you hold your camera?
I'll hold her up.
No.
Hold on. I'll hold her up. Let me move this. Come here, Bean.
This is Bean.
Oh.
She's wondering. She's camera shy. Hi, I can't see her, Tori. There you go. Hi, baby Bean. Hi, can you hear? Can you hear me? Hi, Bean. Hi. It's so dark. Hi. I got to do that with the voice, and she's like, "Oh, I hear you."
She's being so Bean. Oh, I have shorts on.
You did what?
Oh, okay. Anyways, this podcast is a little bit of a kerfuffle. Ow! She bit me. She bit me right on my wrist.
He said, I did not want to go live on Find It.
Omi said, I'm 2 years old. That means I'm 8. Wait, right?
It's 7. She'd be 14.
We were 14 and dog
years. Isn't it dog years? Okay, so we got way off topic.
Sorry. Go ahead. Roast me some more.
She doesn't want to talk about this anymore because we put her feet to the fire a little bit. But I know what you meant. But I know you've explained. But we just need to, as a society, understand that women aren't ready to just like 1 foot in the grave when they turn 40 years old. And
I didn't say that.
Good God, if it's, I know you didn't, but like aged out, it's like, well, I'm of a certain age, so that's it for me, folks. Okay.
Put her in the curb. Put her in the used pile. We don't want her anymore.
Yeah, like I need a new and improved version. It's like the iPhone. People stand in line for that new thing. I couldn't believe it. I showed up to get a new iPad one day, and apparently the new iPhone came out. Lord, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't even want an iPhone to begin with. I went, I guess, like Joe Ingram said, come to the bright side, leave like Androids are on the dark side. And so I had no idea. I walked around the corner at the Apple store, and there was literally a line like there was I don't know, like you're going to go to an amusement park and you're going to get on a roller coaster. It was that long. They had it snaked out. And I was like, what is going on? Oh, the new iPhone's out. So you're going to stand in line all day to get a new phone to spend like, what are they, like $1,500 or something?
Yeah, they are.
And I'm like, oh my, I thought they were giving something away for the love, you know?
Yes.
So anyway,
That's how women are nowadays. That's how they treat women.
That's what it was. Right. Look, Heather says, I couldn't believe my eyes when you finally got rid of your jitterbug.
I know.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. I had so much fun with her today. She was in the shop. We had a blast. But yeah, it's like turn us in. Like, oh, this is like no. And the fact of the matter is, when you study other cultures treat their elderly. I'm not elderly. I'm not that yet.
They treat their old people.
They love their old people. They treat them real well. So, I mean, it's in America. It's like, oh God, you have a couple extra candles on there. Get rid of her. I'm feeling very old at 66 now, right? I know. It's like, what the heck? Oh my gosh, you are the youngest 66-year-old, Christy. Don't even. Yeah. So it's like you can continue to grow. I always feel like this. Let's figure out what excites you, what brings you joy, what you're passionate about, and go in that area and do something. Do it. If it's travel, and people always say, well, that takes money. Yeah, but I've talked to a lot of people who don't use a lot of money, but travel all over the place. It's insane. That's another podcast. But I've learned a lot about that too. But I mean, it doesn't matter if you're of a certain age. If you want to do something, I'm not saying go find something to do when you're of a certain age. I'm just saying if there's something you want to do, don't let how many years you've lived hinder you from taking that leap. Do it if you want to. That's what I'm saying. It aggravates me to think that society rules say, well, you shouldn't try to do this or that. You've aged out, as my daughter said. So if you've aged out,
I'm so sorry that I ever said that ever. I would have known in the way I said it was so flippant. I didn't even say it like.
And then I was like,
I think I was either on my phone or on my computer, and we were talking, and you told me this app or this thing, wherever it was. And I knew that on that app, it was a younger demographic. And I was like, oh, well, it makes sense that you're having a harder time because of this. And
your exact words after I was like, da, 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 and I just don't understand that. And you said,
I'm sure that wasn't.
Well, yeah, you've aged out. And I was like, that's not true. Oh my God. I mean, it's like,
it is true. It just sucks.
I haven't aged out.
Oh my God.
You know what, when I've aged out? When I'm dead.
There she goes.
Okay, listen. In that context right there, though, Tori, you are a little wrong in the sense you missed your mom's point. The fact that you're trying to say that she aged out in the demographics of selling clothes and stuff, you're totally wrong in that perspective. Okay, because
not that.
When she was talking about that, and you said, "Well, you aged out." There's the problem. I mean, your mom can be a consultant. Do you think kids of the same age are the ones that are selling the stuff at the stores?
I just visualize myself in a wheelchair.
No, I'm just saying, like you missed the whole concept. You were very narrow-minded to make a very stereotypical comment, and you were that's the point she was making. You were flippant. You didn't look at it, but a certain way. And it was just
and Lynn isn't the truth. We
talked about this. It was
how people behave, and they think it's acceptable.
Right. And what I'm saying is your mom has different shapes, sizes, and ages come on her live to do her show. Mm-hmm. Okay. So she caters to that too. So what I'm saying is,
well, I will stop you and say that I have given my mom advice about marketing and stuff to a younger demographic, and she says that's really not where I'm going. So you wouldn't go, that app that she was on and doing was more, there's more younger people on it. And,
Right.
you know, so if that's not who you're trying to reach, it makes sense why you're not reaching the people you want to reach, because they're not there. You wouldn't go, if you're dairy free, you wouldn't go to a dairy farm to get your milk. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't. You're not going to be that person.
That's true. However, the point of all of this is that many people in America have dubbed and given a certain age bracket for women to be successful, worthy, useful, valuable, all the words, okay? All of it. All of these adjectives to describe when a woman is worth all of these different things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you use the terminology, you've aged out, I flipped out because that is absolutely not true. And that is a misconception across our culture that needs to change. And I want to be, there are many women out there who are doing the same things I'm doing to create change in this society. And I also want to instill that in you and Dalton, because you shouldn't look at me as aging out with anything that I want to do.
Well, the same thing.
Because you should say, hey, I'm going to be her age in 30 years. I'm going to be her age. And I want to also feel empowered and know that I can do these things. And no one's going to tell me that I'm at a certain age and I shouldn't try or do.
Well, same thing like when you said the thing like a dairy farm. You said, well, they're not going to have non-dairy things. Well, you're wrong. The way things work to make everything acceptable is a place like that would have a non-dairy product so that people feel more comfortable in that situation. Everything evolves to include people. That whole inclusion thing and being more unified and dignified and having more people be included, that's part of this. And that's including women of age, not to disregard their age and having a thing of saying, well, you outdated, like an expiration.
Even like, I was just thinking about this, even like models. I mean, that is a huge industry where it used to only be really all very thin women, tall, certain sizes. Now they've evolved into having plus size models and all of that. And there's also a wave of women, though, who then say, I can model even when I'm 70. And I've seen them, and it's beautiful to see.
Yes.
And they dress really well.
Exactly. I'm saying you can do it. I'm not going to cut you down for doing it. I'm just saying I was being a voice of the society.
Logic. I know, but you know what though? Here's the thing: the more times people voice those types of comments, that is like somebody that didn't have a little, like, that would cut someone down. So me, like, well, you can't do that, can you? Like, you're 50. What? No. For other people, when they hear this all the time, that's going to keep this, absolute nonsense going and moving forward. And we have to stop it and say, yeah, I believe that if you want to do something and you have it in your heart to do it, then it doesn't matter how old you are, you can. I believe that. Do you guys believe it? Who's watching? Does anyone like jump on the train here?
Well, I think Tori has said going forward and how she said it, she wouldn't have said it the way she said it had she realized that it was
that she was going to be on Find It.
Well, that it was going to be taken that way. I think she has learned a big lesson by how she said it. And
well, I thought I was helping as like, I know the answer to this question. Raise my hand, and then the teacher like, you're not only wrong, but I'm disowning you now. Out. It's like, Jesus. I was like, God, I know this one. And she's like, that's what she did.
God.
And I understand it sucks, though. I'm also a woman. I have all the parts. I also understand. I get it. But I'm like, this is why. And I've told you, let me help you with the marketing. If you want to reach that demo, I am them. I'm 25. I buy your clothes. I love your clothes. Let me help you. And you're like, no. I'm like, okay.
I do it myself.
Like, okay then.
All right. Well,
thank you for coming to find it tonight. Where we argued all of the night.
Yeah, so I am Dance for Kids' Sake, which is our spin on Dancing with the Stars. Is this weekend, and I co-host with Dan Ramey.
Yes.
He's the best. And I am going to be wearing a really pretty pink dress that my Studio 11 Style and Find Your Fabulous followers picked for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be wearing that, and I might do
wait, pause. Do you have a pic? You need to send me a picture of it because I'm no longer on social media.
Okay.
I didn't get to vote, so now I want to see it. I saw it hanging when I was home last, but
yeah, I have to steam it. And then I'm thinking that I will do number one pick by Studio 11 Style and Find Your Fabulous on my Facebook page. They picked the fuchsia first. And then the runner-up was a purple one. And then the next one, so those two were the top two. And then I showed two others, and they were the least liked. So I might do a costume change at halftime, the intermission, and change into the purple. Yeah, I'll feel like Cher making a costume change. But Sean Benson said she'd help me get into the other dress. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if I'm going to fit in the purple one, because when I tried it on like over a month ago, it was a little snug, and I have not been working out. I've been having a lot of snacks. So I'm going to see if it still fits. And if it fits, and if I haven't aged out, I would wear the purple.
You know what? If the Lord Jesus Christ came down right now and asked me, you've got 3 things you want to take away what you did, I would take away that statement. I would say, you know what? All the people I've disappointed in my life or hurt, don't care right now. I need you to
now just remove the aged out one. Just let me fill that back in with something else. Like, go home. I get it. Okay.
And you know what's so funny? Let me just put this in here right now. My mother and I, thank you, Lynn. My mother and I talk to each other. So sometimes I feel as though we need to soften things, both of us. When we say to each other, there could be some softening on both.
Yeah, sometimes things fly out of my mouth. I would never.
And I've learned that as well. So sometimes, but we usually go back and forth, and we're like, and feelings don't get hurt. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But that I got immediate. What? I was like, oh, I'm in for it. And then you know what? And tonight I would like to tell you, she told me I was going to be on the podcast a couple days ago. I'm like, okay, cool, fine, love it. I'm going to zoom on in. And today, as I was doing things around the house and stuff, I was like, she hasn't asked me what we're going to talk about. She's called me today too. It's weird. And then I thought to myself, she's got something cooking. That she knows what she said, check mark, check in, balance. She is going to go for my jugular. And she did. She quite literally
I didn't. I'm just putting it out there. We gotta
find it. You will get your jugular slit at this point.
Anybody else want to come on board? Anybody else want to come on this show?
Yeah, if anybody else want to, it's only me, only I'll say some controversial crap every other week. Get back on here.
Oh, okay. But yes, I'll show you the pictures of the dresses. I'm gonna let that go.
I'm excited for that. That's always. Wait, is it?
It's sold out and oversold. Actually, there'll be probably 800.
Wait, is it outside or inside this year?
It's inside.
Is it in the Shoemaker Center?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, it's gonna be great.
I can't wait to see Gwen.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be dancing. Gwen Thomas, you guys that follow Studio 11 Style, she does my live streams with me almost every single week. And she is one of the dancers. So
she knew her dance the day of
oh my gosh. She's like, and then you do this. I was like, wow, that was one lesson. She was in the boutique doing her little dance. It was so cute.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make sure. I know they video the whole night, but maybe I'll try to get some video from my perspective on the off stage too for her.
Yep.
So all right. Well, you know what, you guys, all the ladies, all the single ladies.
Of all ages.
All the ages of the ladies. All the ages of the ladies. You can do what you want. And don't let anybody I can do what I want. And don't you let anybody tell you you can't. It doesn't matter how old you are. Got it? All right. I think it's
that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down